Good evening and welcome to Undaunted Weekly Recap. I'm Star Smart.
Well, this week on Undaunted, we have the distinguished phenomenal Vice President, Mr. Eric Ate. He dissected and put to thought the reasons for this struggle and why it must be achieved. It was an honor, we must say. For the reports as usual, they were all sad, from Ambazonians stranded in Ghana to Muyuka nurses going on street protests due to unpaid salary. Also, a baby born in a hospital missing. All sad.
But remember, the Undaunted Weekly Recap is to highlight all the major stories from the week. And in case you missed out on it, we will delve into the recap proper after this break. The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion. They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with Undaunted ABC Amba News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The revolution and Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the media against Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, and 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the oppressor was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amba TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed, with Undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing it to the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amba TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Ambazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Ambazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambatv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services at the marketplace on the website.
That was easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
You're welcome back. Well, this week we took a review of the senseless war. We told you that the International Crisis Group report of the 31st March 2023 admits that special status is not working and the cause of the war remains unresolved. We asked what was new. Now, in 2019, amid fighting with Ambazonian freedom fighters in the southern Cameroons, that is Ambazonia, the colonial occupier, La République du Cameroon, granted a special status to respond to demands for greater autonomy. This step has failed to um, quite the 6 year conflict. However, as clashes between the colonial government and Ambazonian liberation forces continues, things are becoming worse. What does it matter? The colonial La République du Cameroon military campaign to quash freedom fighters, the southern Cameroons, has achieved limited results. Amid continued fighting, a Canadian led peace initiative encountered obstacles in the early 2023, with the parties now silent about where talks stand. Exploration of special status reforms could help the conflict parties find a political solution.
Also, this week we looked at the fight to flush out the occupational forces and the colonial administrators out of La Republic du Cameroon, out of Amazonia territory. And unfortunately, the unity in the respect of Monday lockdowns speak volumes instituted in 2017 Monday ghost towns has been an accepted reality and proof of resilience on the part of the Amazonian people. Despite the in-house brouhaha with foot soldiers of different affiliations on the ground, there has been unity and oneness as far as the observation of the Monday ghost towns is concerned. Bamenda in Amazonia in miniature today on the day of April 3rd, 2023, with empty streets and Colonial La Republic du Cameroon offices being locked.
Well, also this week, we told you that La République du Cameroon colonial military man in Ambazonia has rendered many homeless. Their scorched earth policy in Ambazonia has seen many houses burned down. Cameroonese have never sympathized with Ambazonians with the pains inflicted on them by La République du Cameroon terrorist forces. Nature has decided to make have a pitch of what Ambazonians are going through. A tornado has removed rooftops in La Republic de Cameroon, leaving many stranded with properties exposed to rains. Skulls of houses have been destroyed and roofs of other ripped off by a tornado that has been recurrent in the towns of Mbangasina and Ntui in the Mbam and Kim division of the center region of La Republic de Cameroon.
Well, also this week we brought to you Bambalang youths who have begged Amazonian Restoration Forces to release Fon Kevin Yakum, who has been used and dumped by La Republic du Cameroon. Launch SOS for the release of the CPDM Fon, who has been under custody for over 1 year and counting. It's a sad experience and lesson for the remaining CPDM traditional authorities of Amazonia extraction in colonial La Republic systems. Well, we got news this week saying the sons and daughters of Bambalang village in Ndop local government area, Ngoketunja County, begging on Amazonian Restoration Forces, the ARFs, to release their father, Fon Kevin Yakum, who have been under custody for over a year. Well, Amazonia, our reports this week told also that the youths met on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, in Yaoundé under the canopy of Mbao Yakum Youth, headed by the national president Mingo Pius, and they came together, which was purposefully to plan for an upcoming peace conference. Also saw many important things discussed, amongst which was, of course, the issue of the Fon Yakum Kevin.
Well, the type of local authorities in some areas of Amazonia left nothing to be desired. The in-house slave mayor of the Colonial and Dump Council for 7 years refused to succumb to the cry of the shop owners at the dump market. He put extortion first over the plight of the traders. Traders petitioned the in-house slave mayor that the amount of money levied on them by the Colonial and Dump Council was huge, given that business transactions are slow with the ongoing crisis. The mayor paid a deaf ear to their worry, maintaining that the levy must be paid in totality. The traders reacted to the adamant style of the mayor by locking their shops. Now, the question we asked was how can a so called elected official with a mandate to better the lives of those in his municipality not blink as occupants of cancelled shops are on strike action by locking their shops for years.
Well, also the fight to flush out the occupational forces has been shown in the unity and the respect of Monday lockdowns as they speak volume. And Monday ghost towns has been generally accepted in Amazonia. The resilience on the part of the Amazonia people has been shown in this particular day. Despite the in-house brouhaha with full soldiers of different affiliations on the ground, there has been unity and oneness as regards the observation of Monday ghost towns. And Bamenda in Amazonia is mean on the day of April 3rd, being Monday, has shown a series of empty streets and Colonial La Republic du Cameroon offices that have been shown locked as well.
Well, we also took a review of this senseless war declared on innocent, peace loving people of Southern Cameroon by the La République du Cameroon, genocidal neighboring French Cameroon monarch Paul Biya since 2017. And we did tell you that it has registered over 40,000 deaths, sent hundreds of thousands as refugees, bought over 600 homes, towns, and villages. Now, the whereabouts of many Amazonians remain unknown. Many have fled to the unknown. Many are dying on the high seas in search of shelter. Numbers in La Republic of Cameroon dungeons. We told you that jails unknown still have numbers of them. Numbers of rape cases uncountable. Numbers of those maimed uncountable. Numbers of shops and properties looted by the cruel barbaric La Republic of Cameroon military uncountable as well.
Well, 4 months old baby also Marta, who was killed by Colonial Lara public soldiers in Muyuka, and also 80 years old Mamia P, who was burnt to ashes in Kwakwa, another baby that was fried in oil in Momo County, and a nursing mother and a baby murdered by Lara Public Cameroon military in Dop local government area. Also, baby Carolisa, who was gunned down on her way to school in Boya local government area. Also, baby Tatao, who was gunned down on her way back from school in Bamenda local government area. We also have General Nopiti's girl ex, who was whisked off to jail heavily pregnant, even giving birth under cruel La Republic du Cameroon's military custody. Also, Thomas Tandeng, who was chained to death in his hospital bed in Yaoundé, who died. And remember Sam Sawyer, who was killed by La Republic du Cameroon's military. La Republic's military killed a woman in Guzang just returning from taking a bath, and a whole lot more.
Well, that's not all. 8 children killed by military in a school in Kumbai, Kondutiti local government area. Hospitals, schools, colleges, and churches burnt by military, same who killed health workers. La Republic declared military making work very difficult for doctors without borders. La Republic declared military killed over 30 people in Ngabor, Ndu local government area, including children and pregnant women, which is the Ngabo massacre. La Republic du Cameroon military killed over 30 in Santa Peña local government area. And in Boyo County, women for the first time were seen digging graves to bury their dead as most men had disappeared with the war.
Well, the people of Ngomgam and Mulang quarters in Bamenda chief town of Menzam County are being molested on a daily basis by La Republic du Cameroon terrorist forces of the new barracks created in these areas. They have been subjecting the inhabitants of these areas to indiscriminate torture, and many are pondering how the La Republic du Cameroon planted new barracks in areas considered strongholds of the Amazonian Defense Forces.
Also, this week, the Amazonian Defense Forces are meeting in action in Bamenda, giving La Republic of Cameroon to plant barracks in different quarters. Inhabitants of Ungoham Quarter and Mulan Quarter, precisely around the Dominion Hotel Junction, are living in uncertainty with the unpredictable attitude of the colonial La Republic of Cameroon terrorist forces.
Now, interestingly, this week we brought to you nurses of Muyuka District Hospital in Fako County of the Atlantic Zone of Amazonia being on strike to decry poor working conditions and low pay. The health workers took to the streets and suspended work to demonstrate their dissatisfaction on March 31st of this year, with placards of various messages directed to the hospital management. The nurses say they are fighting for their rights and transparency in the La République du Cameroon government-run health establishment. One of the placards read, "Enough is enough, give nurses their rights. Nurses are not robots."
Well, this week we also told you that Fulani gunmen kidnapped 22 persons, including a woman, whisked them off to Nigeria. Reports reaching Undaunted said that unidentified Fulani gunmen on Sunday, 2nd, breaking Monday, 3rd of April 2023, kidnapped a total of 22 persons, including a woman from Buku and Buku Ako stretch in Donga Matun County.
Well, also there has been series of reports of Amazonians who are trying to flee the war being duped of money, sums of money even as huge as 800,000 francs CFA to over a million francs CFA, some for a person, promising fake jobs. And there's a video we played this week that talked about this. The voiceover in the video sent an SOS to family members and friends of the victims to identify them and rescue them. Only a few days ago, Undaunted ABC Amba TV News brought to you the story of another sad, and at least 3 migrants have died, 13 are still missing, while 14 have been rescued off the Caribbean waters. AP News has confirmed that the victims, mostly Southern Cameroonians, Amazonia, are fleeing the war, the ravaging war in Amberland, who left Antigua early Tuesday, March 28, 2023. And further reports on this say the group departed from Antigua heading to U.S. Virgin Island before their boat sank near St. Kitts Island.
Also, this week we told you of a sad story. A baby mother, Belle Esther Arule, laments that her newborn baby disappeared immediately after it was born on Friday, March 31st. Arule said she was bewildered at the vague explanation given to her by the midwives that the baby died at birth and was thrown into a septic tank. She said she has not seen the baby since it was born and she believes the baby was stolen. Well, the mother arrived at the hospital around 10 p.m. on Thursday, March 30th, and was delivered of the baby as at Friday, but she has not seen the baby since the baby was born.
Well, another high point of the week was new appointment of persons into the interim government, which was further recognized in Article 9 of the interim constitution of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia to install these new appointees, appointing pending confirmation by the IHR. The new appointees are May Sarah Fulbright, Deputy Secretary of State for Department of Finance and Resource Mobilization, DFRM, and Mr. Abuno Akwe for the Deputy Secretary of State for the National Treasury, and also Mrs. Prudence Sumelong, Deputy Secretary of State for the Department of Women's Services, and also Mrs. Rachel Itatima, Deputy Secretary of State for Social Services. And also the last person appointed is the Ethics Commission, new members Mr. Ba Ali and Mrs. Remy Muyuk, Dr. Simon Awa.
Right, we told you that the ARFs are winning. This happened on April 5th and April 4th. There was an exchange of gunfire in Bafut local government area between the ARFs and the colonial occupier, La République du Cameroon soldiers, neutralizing a good number of the latter. Now, a report that got to ABC Amber TV through a French Cameroonian activist and blogger, Nzu Mancho, confirmed that 2 La République du Cameroon soldiers were killed by Ambazonia restoration fighters in Manfi, one of whom was a staff sergeant whose only name was given as Tamber, and his colleague, a 19-year-old unidentified at the time of this report. Well, the ARFs in Manfi did this surgical operation on Wednesday, April 5th, 2023, at a shootout with the occupier enemy forces. Other reports, this time from Bafut local government area, Undaunted gathered that the Colonial Republic of Cameroon occupier army ambushed and killed at least 3 civilians in Amfoya, a small village in Bafut, on Tuesday, April 4th.
Well, this week also we told you the Colonial La Republic du Cameroon's government, in an attempt to scheme, use some Muslims leaders to combat the Amazonian fight for the restoration of the statehood of former British Southern Cameroon. They say La Republic is using their slave minister of territorial administration an Amazonia and in-house slave Paul Atanga Ng to achieve this purpose of bringing in some Muslim leaders for the fight against the struggle. Amazonian intelligence holds that La Republic du Cameroon, through the in-house slave Atanga Ng on March 28 and 29th, held a meeting with some corrupt leaders of the Muslim community against Amazonia and the struggle.
Well, it was a historic and unprecedented day for America. Former President Donald Trump, who was arrested and arraigned on criminal charges on Tuesday. Mr. Trump appeared for his arraignment before Judge Joan Merchan at 2:15 p.m. ET on Tuesday afternoon, becoming the first current or former U.S. president ever to be criminally charged. Well, reports suggested that he faced 34 felony charges but will not be handcuffed or put in a jail cell and will not have his mugshots taken. All right, and right after this break, we'll come back with fresh reports for today. Stay with us.
Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal payments at abcambertv.com. Contact us today. info@abcambertv.com. Facebook, ABC Ambazonia. You can call us on 124-048-68768, www.abcambertv.com. Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal payments at abcambertv.com. Contact us today. info@abcambertv.com. Facebook, ABC Ambazonia. You can call us on 124-048-68768, www.abcambertv.com.
All right, you're welcome back. Well, today we start with remembering a great man, a fighter, a strong man, FM Nsibu. And so we'll take you down memory lane on some of his achievements and what we actually think of him. Now, FM Nsibu was a fighter whose resilience felt the interim government gave nightmares to the ADFs in Boyi County. Now, looking at the success from an overzealous Snowpity following his curse border incursions, crowned by the ADF-led Unity Warriors, have singled out FM Cebu as one of the most reliable, resilient, and steadfast ARF's fighters since his predecessors. Chacha was betrayed and sent to an early grave by still these ADF connections. Probably, FM Cebu learned his lessons from the demise of Chacha, who had been a firebrand soldier and commander of the Bui Warriors since the war issued in 2017. There are so many good lessons indeed to resist bribery and corruption, which FM Cebu showed. Good lessons indeed to tell the world that the Amazonian quest for freedom and the blood split and still being spilled cannot be exchanged with La Republic du Cameroon blood money, which has drunken the ADF and its acolytes. But FM Cebu stood strong.
Well, according to Chiba Nelson On the matter, late General Nsubu, who did all to free Southern Cameroon, but was killed by ADF and unity warriors under No Pity. No Pity himself died in February 2023 after an ambush without backup because he had earlier eliminated those who could have given him backup. ADF killed Amigo, General Ivo, Chacha, Godfather Wazuzu Ayeka, Florence Ayafo, Commando, Krugwe Prince, Nibong Aaron, Batibo massacres, a bunch of kidnappers extorting money from the vulnerable to feed Ayaba, Akuro, Akwanga, Kapo, Benedict Kwa, Ayamba, Sheikh Kavi, Pascal Kiki, Roland Tarere, etc. In Togo and the rest shall ensure justice and freedom of Southern Cameroon, he says. He says, note because all genuine Amazonian restoration forces, those under the interim government, shall be honored, compensated, taken care of upon arriving Boya, dead or alive, medically, educationally, family care, free housing, family and children's care, veterans honors, benefits, etc., by the Southern Cameroon's government. Anyone who was rather worshipping an individual shall be exempted, Nelson Uchiba writes.
Well, according to Tapadi King, he made Bui the land of no return. That's what Tapadi King says, that FM No Pity made Bui the land of no return, that we already know today. He goes on to say, a wise man once said, if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Today, we remember a hero, a valiant fighter in Sobu whose enthusiastic, selfless, and brave desire to free his people from the evil clutches of the Franco Cameroon hegemony carved his name on hearts and not tombstones. Nsobo has left behind him a legacy, and even 1 year after his untimely passing, the bloodthirsty, trigger-happy, and Zegan Bulu Betty enemy forces still feel the impact of his existence in the great county of Bui, the land of his birth. Nsobo made Bui the land of no return that we know today for the forces of occupation.
Well, General Tokendu, the apostle of Nsobu, has the relay now, and you can also testify of his patriotism for nation. A complete total freedom for Southern Cameroons will be the only proper reward of their bravery, the bravery especially of Nsobu. The peoples of Amazonia have him in their history books as a hero whose story should inspire even generations unborn in a prosperous free homeland. Meanwhile, the restoration forces under his command has just done an ambush. Let's see the video.
Voila. Now that tips in this. Now caterpillar this way will spoil them. Now in this. They still there. They don't make more than 30 minutes. More than 30 minutes. They still there for Wainama. Ambush for Wainama. Lead by Colonel Lotijo. And the caterpillar this. And the caterpillar this. We don't jam them fine. ARF them. ARF. Now with this for Wainama. Today not today. Ambush unit for Wainama. Lead by Colonel Lotijo. Lead by Colonel Lotijo. And then this. You want a live video. Don't really spoil the caterpillar. Captain Yoko Duma Dede live. Live.
No. Oh my.
All right, let's also take a look at some of his videos while he was still alive and some of his records and the job he did way back.
Now on to our next report for today. La Republic du Cameroon's colonial government says fighting between Amazonian restoration forces and its troop is slowing reconstruction of homes, schools, hospitals, and other public buildings in troubled Amazonia. Colonial Yaoundé authorities say in the 3 years since the launch of a reconstruction plan for thousands of homes and hundreds of public buildings damaged in the 7 year armed conflict, it hasn't been easy.
The Colonial La Republic de Cameroon authorities admitted their failure for the first time publicly in a broadcast on their propaganda media wing CRTV last Tuesday, April 4th. Colonial Yaoundé in 2020 launched a reconstruction and development plan across war-torn Amazonia, and the colonial genocidal government promised to reconstruct 12,000 private homes, schools, hospitals, bridges, and markets that are being destroyed or damaged in the course of the war.
Well, after a visit to the war-torn Amba land last week, Colonial Yaoundé said the reconstruction plan would need an additional $100 million to rebuild from the 7 years of fighting and counting. The original plan called for $150 million in rebuilding cost. The annexationist Colonial La République du Cameroon says it will provide 70% of the funds, while the rest will be covered by international donors, including the UN, France, and Japan, and private companies, both local and foreign.
Well, also today, interestingly, Amazonians are an endowed group of people with the resounding potential for greatness. Amazonians are very, very industrial set of people that can survive in any given situation. That's the reason why Amazonians or Amber land is the most developed, oriented in the Cameroons. La Republic de Cameroon deprived Amazonia of an industry, and the existing companies were locked down by President Paul Biya. Yet, Amazonians have grown to survive thanks to their entrepreneurial ingenuity.
Well, a dynamic Amazonian fondly called Pepperish has invented a device to enable him to cook the popular corn fufu with ease. La Republic du Cameroon thought shutting down all companies in Amazonia will make Amazonians miserable, but now it has instead awakened the hidden potential in them. Imagine an Amazonia with a booming entrepreneurial sector. Despite the tight colonial administration of La Republic du Cameroon in Amazonia, the people of Amazonia are still breaking for it. This implies that Amazonians will do better after total freedom has been given from the colonial shackles of La Republic du Cameroon. If Amazonians in a situation where their rights are being violated can excel this much, what will the situation be if they are completely free? Can the will of God for a people change?
Well, and Amazonia, just like you've seen in the video, a CEO of a food joint in Bamenda at the Commercial Avenue, who is known as Peprish, has made cooking corn fufu easy for himself. Peprish, as he's fondly called, has invented an electric mortar pistol to ease his cooking of corn fufu, the lone meal he treats his customers with. Customers and passerbys are amazed at the technological developments and the ease with which a man is very relaxed in the cooking of corn fufu.
Well, Pepperish is now famous for his sale of corn fufu and vegetables, not only for the taste, but how the food is being prepared. Before engaging in this venture, Pepperish was first in the hawking of toasted eggs around town, and most especially at football playing grounds. Just like Pepperish, many Amazonians within the ongoing conflict have invented life-sustaining ventures. There is one that is making fortune from the trash. She collects used vehicle tires to produce sofa seats. She's not only freeing the streets from this voluminous waste, but she is also making money for herself and family.
Well, there is another young man, undaunted, though have decided to keep out names that are involved in the production of animal feed from farm produce like corn, kernel cake, soya beans, and others. There are many with talent in Ambazonia that the present La Republic to Cameroon government is not given that conducive atmosphere to manifest. But we know that with time, all of this would be history. All right, and with that interesting report, we've come to the end of Undaunted tonight.
I'll leave you with ABC Amba TV images. Good night and God bless you.
Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal payments at abcambertv.com. Contact us today. info@abcambertv.com. Facebook, ABC Ambazonia. You can call us on 124-048-68768, www.abcambertv.com.